In this video, I'm going to go into how to solve and graph compound inequalities. In the previous video, which if you haven't seen it yet, it introduces what an and an or problem is and how to graph a compound inequality. I only looked at graphing, but now we're going to look at graphing and solving. And in the next video, we'll talk about some special types of solutions. All right, so we'll start off here by solving this inequality first. And the solving works exactly as you might expect. We're just going to solve each side of the inequality here separately. So we're going to subtract 4 from both sides of the inequality sign here, which will give me x is greater than -1 for the first inequality. So I'm going to go to -1 on my number line again, put an open circle, and I'll shade out towards the right because x is greater than -1. I need all the greater numbers. Now, next up, we'll solve the one on the right here. We have -2x minus 6 is greater than or equal to 4. I'm going to start by adding 6 to both sides. I get -2x is greater than or equal to 10. And then I'm going to divide by -2 on both sides. Now, don't forget, when you divide by a negative number, we've got to flip that inequality sign around so we get x is less than or equal to -5. So we've just solved both pieces of it. I'm going to come back to this in a little bit, but let's go ahead and finish the graph here. We'll have a closed circle at -5 because it's or equal to, and since it's less than, we'll shade to the left. Now, I talked to you guys before about how I said or problems pretty much always go out and problems pretty much always go in, but you can't always assume that. And I'm going to show you why in a little bit, like I said, in the next video. So I'm going to show you a way that will help you with all types of problems to graph these. Here's how it's going to work. So with an or problem, we're going to think of it like a rainstorm over our head. Okay, so with an or problem, think of it like a rainstorm. Okay, here's what I mean. Let me fix my word rain here. So while it's raining outside, you've got these roofs that are over your head here. You want to be standing somewhere where you won't get wet. And we're going to shade everywhere in our final answer line where if it was raining, we would not get wet. So if you look here, imagine there's a rainstorm up here. Sorry that my rain is green, but bear with me. Maybe it's acid rain or something. So it's raining up here on this top number line, above the number lines. We would want to stand anywhere where there'd be a roof over our head where we wouldn't get wet. So if you notice, this -5 and over, this blue part of the graph, well, it'll be okay to stand here because there's a roof over top of our head and we won't get wet. Over here, from the -1 over, we also will have a roof over our head so we won't get wet. So in an or problem, if you think of it like it's raining outside and it's raining on top of our head, anywhere you stand under these number lines will be in your final answer. And now to write the final answer as a solution, so we just graphed it, the graphing's good. To write the answer as a solution, we knew that x had to be greater than -1 or x is less than or equal to -5. And it's important that you write that word or in there because the whole way that we graph this problem is completely different if we don't have the word or in our solution. Okay, so we'll go ahead and we will attempt the next one here. Okay, I've got 5 is less than 3x, which is minus 1, which is less than 26. There's two ways to solve a problem like this. I'm going to show you, I guess I'll show you both here. There's method 1. So method 1 would be, we could split this into two inequalities. So if you think about these as your dividing lines here, we could split this using the dividing lines into two separate inequalities. Using the word and, we said that in the previous video that these are and problems in disguise. So if we take the first part of the problem, it would be 5 is less than 3x minus 1. So we just take the 5 in the middle part. And, so I'm going to sneak the word and in here. And 3x minus 1, the middle part, is less than 26, the part on the right. And we're just going to solve these each separately. So I'll go to the left, and what I'm going to do is start by adding 1 on both sides. I'll get 6 is less than 3x. And then if we divide by 3 on both sides, we'll get x is greater than 2. And I'm just going to rewrite this the other way because on multiple choice tests, it's very common that you graph them this way. You'd have x is on the left side. Okay, I'm going to bring down the word and here. Now with the blue one on the right, what I'm going to do is start by adding 1 to both sides. We'll get 3x is less than 27. And if we divide by 3, we should solve to get x is less than 9. So we've got our answer here to this problem, and that's one way to solve this and write the answer. Okay, so we could solve this by breaking that up into 2 pieces and then graphing each part separately. So again, I'm going to go over here and graph this now. X is greater than 2. So we'll do an open circle here at 2, and we will shade to the right. And then for the blue line, we'll go open circle at the 9, shading to the left. And again, we said this is an AND problem. So the way that we work an AND problem, think of AND. So I said OR is like a rainstorm. Think of AND as like a hailstorm. Okay. So imagine that there's these really nasty big hail pellets up here that are going to rain down on you. And unlike the rain, the hail pellets can break through one roof, but they can't break through 2. Okay. So if you're standing over here, if this is you standing on this corner of the graph, the hail pellets will break through at least one roof and they'll pop you on the head here and give you a big goose egg. Now, we have to think about where, if we were in this hailstorm, if we were standing, would we be safe? And the answer is going to be anywhere that there's 2 roofs over our head. The first one it'll break through, but it'll get slowed down enough that it'll stop by the time it hits the second roof. So the final answer would have to be anywhere from 2 to 9 in between, because that's where we have 2 roofs over our head. And that would be your final graph. So we've got the solution up here. We've got the graph down here. Okay. And let me just see. I think that this next one, I'm going to show you an alternate method to solve an AND problem that looks like this on the next one. So this is going to be an alternate method. If I have something like number 9 now, where, again, I could split this into 2 problems like before, and the splitting up method is safer. It'll always work. If I have an x on one of the outside pieces of the graph, if there's variables on both sides, you're going to want to split it up like I did in the last example. But both problems that we just did, you can solve using another method where you think of the equation as having 3 sides. We've got a left side, a middle, and a right side, or I should say inequality, not equation. What we're going to do is start by dividing -3 to move that away from the x on all 3 sides. I can't just do it on the left or the right. I've got to do it on all 3 sides. So if I divide each of these by -3, this will give me -1. And now remember, we've also divided by a negative, so we've got to flip the inequality sign around here. So this would be -1 is greater than or equal to x, which is greater than or equal to -6. Now, again, just for the sake of a multiple choice test, it's very rare that you'll see them write the answer with 2 greater than signs, and this is a common dummy answer that they try to get you to pick. So what I'm going to do is take an extra second. They usually write the smaller number on the left. I'm sorry if you can hear the train going in the background here, but such is the way of the video sometimes. So I'm going to put the smaller number on the left, the bigger number on the right, and flip both of these signs around so it looks like this. And this is, again, they'll usually write the correct answer on a multiple choice with 2 less than signs. Okay, so these are the exact same thing, I just wrote them different ways. Okay, and now that we have it in this form, again, this is like an AND problem. We've solved it. This is a fancy way of saying that our solution lies between -6 and -1. And we could graph this on 3 number lines if we wanted to, but we know that for a problem that has the 2 less than signs, it should always be shading in between the 2 graphs. So again, that's just a quick little video about how to solve and graph compound inequalities. Again, if you like the example of the OR, again, we said we treat the OR, if we're graphing with 3 number lines, the OR is like a rainstorm. As long as you have 1 roof over your head, you're okay. We said that AND problems, are like a hailstorm, and you need 2 roofs over your head to be safe there. And we graph anywhere that is safe to be over our heads.